Hi, my name is Selina and I'm from Ontario, Canada, and you're now watching the coronavirus documentary. So I'm going to start with the first question, which is tell us a little bit about yourself, set the stage, who are you, what's your occupation, and where are you from? So I am from Canada, to be specific, Toronto, Ontario, and I live at home. I'm 23 years old, and I work in the journalism and media industry. I graduated from the University of Windsor last year with a double degree in digital journalism and communication, media, and film. When I graduated, I started working right away. I got lucky to get a job in a small studio called TCN TV Network, where I am the production manager, and my responsibilities are to stream shows online live. And I am also the editor-in-chief at an organization called Street Voices, which I was volunteering for prior to working for them 4 years before that as a writer, photographer, and videographer. And on top of all that, I also have my own business called Shop by Selina, where I take photos and videos for clients. I don't have any pets, and yeah, that's what I do for a living. I'm an outgoing, friendly person, can be a little shy at times, and I'd say that I'm really creative. Tell us when this virus or the threat of this virus became real for you. I'd say that the threat of the virus became real for me when a workshop I have every Thursday canceled just an hour before. I remember getting ready to go to my car and receiving a phone call that the workshop was canceled tonight and for the next week. And then the following week on Sunday, or the same week on Sunday, I got a phone call from my studio saying that we'll be shutting down as well. So I think that's when it became really real for me, that this was something that was going to last for a long time. How have you or your business and or industry been affected by COVID-19? So I have been affected by this because I'm no longer able to go to events, book clients. The studio shut down, so I'm not able to work anymore, as well as just kind of go out and meet people and network and go to workshops to meet other photographers and other creatives in the city. So that's how it affected me. How it affected my industry, I'd say that it really pushed us to move online. Although we were already on that path anyway, I'd say that this was an abrupt, you have no choice, you have to move online. So to see all these businesses go from physical to now virtual, I think that really was eye-opening for me, and it was kind of cool to see how people were using their resources now too. How have your habits and routines changed as a result of COVID? What are you doing with your time now that you have a break? So I'd say that now that I have a break, because I was a really busy person, always doing something, always going to an event or meeting someone or taking video or photos somewhere. So this has given me a chance to really slow down and work on new skills as well as perfecting my old skills. So I've been learning new editing skills or editing tools. I've been using Adobe more. To practicing using After Effects. Animation is something I've always wanted to learn, and now I have the time to do that. So that's what I've been doing in my routine. I also get to kind of work all night and sleep almost throughout the day now. So that's something different for me, where before I had to be up way early for work. Now I kind of get to relax and do things at my own time and at my own pace. So that's how much things have changed for me there. So other than the essentials and non-perishables, what's something you had to buy because you couldn't survive social distancing without? So other than non-perishables, I'd say something that I definitely wouldn't be able to live without would be my laptop and my camera. If I wasn't able to be creative in this time and to really work on my skills, I definitely would be really bored and not sure what to do. I'd probably also feel a lot more anxiety because there'd be nothing to take me away from watching the news and, just kind of drifting away from that world to go enter my own world where it's peaceful and I get to be creative and have fun and think of things and that make me happy and do things that make me happy. In terms of food that I wouldn't be able to live without, definitely pizza pockets. I would definitely go and run out to get pizza pockets. And I'd also say ice cream. Definitely that. And I probably also wouldn't be able to live without juice. That sounds funny to say, but literally I love all tropical juices such as orange, guava, pineapple, and mixing that with wine is the best combination to me. So those three things have been really keeping me going during this pandemic and during this quarantine. On a scale of 1 to 5 without using 3, how prepared do you think you were when the World Health Organization declared a pandemic? So I'd say that I was definitely not prepared. So I would rate that as a 1. There's no way you could prepare for something like this, I think, because you don't really imagine the whole world shutting down and pausing the way it has for a few months now. For me, I've always heard that life doesn't stop for no one. And the fact that life has honestly started to stop because of the coronavirus, I feel like it was such a shock to me how we can just abruptly close businesses and, shut down systems all at once. So definitely not prepared. And I think how I could have prepared better would be just to I guess just like to make sure that you always have, the cooking skills that you need and the food that you need, and when things are on sale to buy them or stock up on them. I would definitely say also to make sure that relationships that you have with people are strong with your neighbors. Just keeping an eye, on making sure that they're okay and that they keep an eye on you to make sure you're okay. So things like that is how I would prepare and how I would suggest other people could prepare for something like this. But definitely I never saw anything like this coming in my lifetime for sure. Where do you think COVID-19 came from? What do you think caused it? So I think that the coronavirus came from China. I know that there were reports coming out in November, December, and January about the coronavirus in China and the speed of how many people were going into the hospital at that time and what that looked like. And especially when I was working at the station, at the studio, my boss and our coworkers and the coworkers, we would really talk about what was going on in the news, of course, and some of the talk shows would talk about the coronavirus and what's happening in China and how the lockdown has started. So I do believe that it came from China. What do you think is going to change as a result of the coronavirus? So I think that what will change is definitely how we do things, how we treat people, how we treat essential workers. I think that is definitely going to change. I feel that we will be more appreciative of people who work in the healthcare industry. We'll be more kind and patient with people who work in grocery stores, with people who work for the post service. So I really think that we're going to never forget kind of who came up. Who really stepped up in this time to help us to get by this, So I really think that we're going to start to appreciate them more. And I think that's going to change. I also think that as a result of this, we'll see how things can be done now. We'll see how we can start to better use resources, especially for marginalized communities, homeless communities. I really think that we'll be able to see what we can do in terms of how the government can help, how money should be distributed, what soup kitchens need, what shelters need. We'll be able to really look at that now and see where the faults are, where the faults have always been. But this pandemic, I feel, has really been able to bring those problems to the forefront. And now that we can actually look at them and focus on them, we can maybe fix those problems and fix the systems that need fixing. So I think that's how the coronavirus has changed the world for the better. So what are some of the funniest things online or otherwise that you've seen? So some of the things that I've seen online that have been really funny to me are the memes, especially the memes that have been about being in quarantine. So, for example, there's one post that said, I think it goes, "My shoes think I died," and that made me laugh so much because it's like we're not able to go out. You know, we're not unable to like go out and meet friends and do things, so we're not really wearing our shoes anymore, we're not really wearing our clothes anymore, you know, so that made me laugh. I'd also say some of the TikToks that have been coming out about staying home, those have always made me laugh too, especially the song "I'm in the house and I'm in the house bored," or sorry, I'm in the house bored and I don't even know how the song goes, but that song has really made me laugh. And yeah, those are some of the things that have made me laugh during this pandemic. And where you can find me online. So send yourself a shout out. Where can people find you online? You can find me online on Instagram at McCallum, SELCALLUM. And if you'd like to see my photography, see some of my work, it's shot by Selina, SHOTBYSELINA. And if you'd like to reach out to me, please do so. If you'd like to know more about journalism, media, what I do, if you'd like to know more about TCN TV and Street Voices, if you'd like to get involved with Street Voices, we're always taking volunteers who have skills in photography, videography, and writing. Please send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you from wherever you are. And thank you so much for watching.